Yep, I've got a problem here. I've got a 2011 Nissan Rogue on the lift, and I think I have finally met my match. Let me tell you what's going on. So had to replace the passenger side CV axle. Well, I'm trying to replace the passenger side CV axle on this 2011 Nissan, and it's giving me a hard time. So as you can tell by looking at your smartphone video there, or whatever you're looking at my video on, I've already mutilated this side of the CV axle. I've already cut the boot. I mean, the boot, it was already gone. It was leaking the oil everywhere. I've cleaned up most of it, but that was the problem. It was leaking the grease out of here, so it was no good. So I went ahead and cut it, and I pulled this side of the CV axle out, and there's the other half of it right here. So that's what it looks like. That's what it looks like behind the other boot, or behind the boots. Couple of bearings. Kind of looks like a, what am I trying to say? I guess it kind of looks like a U-joint of some sorts, but it's kind of weird. But I've never seen the inside of one, but that's what they look like. So here's what's going on. I replaced the driver's side CV axle about a year ago. It did the same thing. And that side was much easier to do, because that side does not have a carrier bearing and a carrier bearing housing. So basically what's going on is I cannot get this CV axle out of the transmission and out of this carrier bearing housing right here. And let me get underneath, and I'll show you. It's a little easier to see underneath. I mean, this is pretty much, that's it right there. But let me get underneath and show you what I'm talking about. So, ow, my head. Let me get the light. Okay. So, let me see how I put this light. There you go. This right here, is the back of the housing, and inside here is your bearing, and this is the axle that goes over into the transmission right there. Okay, so I've been trying to get this out. I have let it sit overnight with some PB Blaster. So I'm hoping this morning I can just yank it out of there. But let me show you what I've been using to yank it out. And, well, what I've been trying to use to get it out. And nothing, I mean nothing has worked. So, let me see here. Let me put my light back over here. I mean, getting this thing out was a pain in the neck. Getting it out of the knuckle, the lower ball joint, that was a pain in the neck. But I finally got the lower ball joint out, and I was able to swing the entire strut and knuckle and the rest of it out of the way here. I got tied back so it's out of my way. But I've since learned by looking at some other videos, some guys just unloosen the strut bolts from here and swing it down instead of removing the lower ball joint from the bottom of the knuckle. So next time, if I ever had to do this again, God knows I don't want to ever do it again, but if I do, I'll probably loosen it here instead of here. So anyway, that's lessons learned for DIYer on that one. But I'm using a, let's see. I tried first using the slide hammer. So I've taken the slide, as you can tell, off of the slide hammer here, and I did make a few modifications. And I've also been using a claw to get in behind the, I'm using a claw to get in behind here to slide hammer that CV axle out of the housing, and that's been unsuccessful. Where's my claw? I'm trying to find my claw. This is the new CV axle, by the way. So you see how long that puppy is. It's pretty long. And this right here is the what I'm trying to remove. This bearing right here is inside that housing, which is obviously seized to the housing, and I can't get that out. But I'm trying to find my trying to find that dang. Oh, is this it? Yeah. So here's the claw. Okay, so this is the claw that can go on the end of the slide hammer bar right here if I take this bolt out. So basically now what I've been trying to do is, instead of using the hammer, I've been trying to actually push this out by putting the claw back behind it right here. Let me get my light on it so y'all can see what's going on. Okay. So what I've been doing is which is probably not the best thing to do, because you can tell I've already started to mar up the aluminum back here, right there. So I've been trying to press this thing off with this bolt. So basically I get this claw in here, and then I tighten this bolt up against the housing, and I've already filed off the end of this bolt, because the end of the bolt was made for to remove a axle, you know, where it goes in the center of the axle to press it out. But I'm not using it for that. I'm using it for this CV axle, not an axle like in the rear end or nothing. So I'm gonna try this again, and I don't know if I'll be able to video it while I'm doing it, but if I start to make some headway on it, I will I'll get the video going and show you guys what it looks like. But yeah, I've watched so many YouTube videos of some guys have just been able just to literally pull the thing out by hand. Some guys have used a slide hammer. It's come out after about 5 or 6 bangs or pulls on the hammer, and some guys have had to literally remove the entire housing, which means, I don't know, I think the exhaust will have to come off back here. I don't even want to go down that road, but I've seen some guys heat the thing up to expand the housing, and they were able to get it out. So I think I'm going to try to heat it up with a torch and try to get it out that way if this is unsuccessful. All right, let me get that going, and y'all hang around for some more, I guess. Wish me luck. All right, so I'm gonna try to pound this out again with the slide hammer. Let's see how well this goes. It ain't moving. She ain't gonna move at all. She not gonna move. Let me get some hearing protection. This hurts my ears. All right. It may have moved just a wee little bit. Let's keep on trying. I sure would hate to have to tear out that carrier bearing housing. So let's just keep hammering away at it and killing my elbow in the process. Yeah. All right, let's put some more PB Blaster in here. Keep that lubed up as much as you can. Got to break that rust. Okay. I think that's actually helping. Let's keep on doing it. It's smoothed a little bit, I believe. Woo! Put you back over here. It's a lot of hard work. I wouldn't recommend any do-it-yourselfer do this job. And I'm doing it, and I'm a do-it-yourselfer, but I would not recommend. I'll never do this again. Lord have mercy. Woo! I can't even do it this way with my hand because my hand hurts so bad from yesterday. I got so frustrated with it. I think it's moving actually, but it ain't moving much. All right, some more PB. Alrighty, I'm gonna go back to my prior method by trying to press it out. Let's see if we can press it out now. I don't know if I can. I'm not ready to put the heat to it just yet, but if I have to put heat to the bearing carrier or the housing, I will, but it seems like I'm getting some movement. I can move there's a washer back there, and I can move it a great deal, so that's promising. So I'm gonna keep at it before it kills me. Actually, I think pressing it out had the most profound effect than actually banging it with a hammer, but it's at the cost of risking cracking the housing here. So yeah, I'm gonna try it again. I'm gonna see what happens. I'm afraid it's gonna crack that housing and then I'm done. I mean, I think this is the most effective. This is by far the most effective way, I think, and I don't think I've seen anybody else try to attempt this on YouTube, so this is a first. But I mean, it's common sense if you can press it off. But I'm using the actual housing that's bolted to the engine as my as my point I'm pushing against. So if I start hearing it crack, I'm gonna back off. See, I don't know if that's the cracking part, if that's the thing moving out, or if it's the aluminum. I'm afraid it's the aluminum. If all else fails, put a bigger wrench on it, right? That's exactly what I'm getting ready to do. I'm playing with fire now. I mean, basically I'm at the point to where I'm gonna have to replace the whole carrier assembly anyway. I mean, if I can't get this thing out, I'm gonna have to pull the whole carrier assembly out and probably replace it anyway. And they're about 140 bucks. I don't want to break it. I'm just gonna go slow. I don't know, Hear that? I don't know. It just don't seem like that's a good situation against that housing at all. And I believe I just broke it right there. Did I break it or did it break loose? I don't know. I don't think I broke it. I think it might have broke loose. Oh, please, please tell me it broke loose. Please, 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 please. I think it did. It broke loose. There's oil coming out of the transmission. Yeah. Woo. Oh my God. I did it, guys. It's working. It worked. Yeah. It's just very little bit coming out now. I think that did it. Yes, sir. Let me see if I can get it to come all the way out now. I never thought I'd get this thing, guys. I never thought. So excited. That's amazing. Come on, please, baby. Come on out. Let's see. Did it break? I think it broke loose. Oh, yeah, it's definitely broke loose. Woo! And it's going to fight me to the bitter end, too. It's going to fight me to the bitter end. Yep, it's going to fight to the bitter end. That sucker was in there good. Holy crap. I thought for sure I cracked that housing, but it was that bearing coming out, and it's still fighting me. It's gonna fight all the way. Literally all the way. It's getting stuck again. Man. Wow. Dude. I don't know, it didn't move much. That's it, I think that's it. Or either it broke the housing, or it came out. I don't know which one. We're getting ready to find out. Let's see. It didn't break the housing. Oh gosh. You don't believe this. Y'all look at this thing come out of here. Y'all see that? It came out, boys. Holy crap. And it didn't break the housing. Look at that. Yes! Woo! Oh my God. Guys, y'all look at this. Look how rusty that thing is. That was what was holding that sucker. Listen, it sounds really nice too. Look at that. You know, I hope y'all can see the rust on this thing. Let me get around here. Look at that. It was held in by that right there. She won't go nowhere, baby. But I got it. I conquered it. Man, this thing almost beat me up, guys. Woo! Here you go. You know what I think about this axle? This is what I think about it. That's what I think about it. All right, let me wipe my GoPro off. It got a little dirty from that CV axle extraction. All right, so y'all check the inside of this thing out. It looks rough. Look at all the rust inside this thing. And it's aluminum on like a steel bearing, and that's part of the problem. There you go. Check it out. So that's what it looks like. And thank God I didn't have to remove the housing. I didn't have to cut the housing. I didn't have to do nothing. And in fact, much oil, I'm kind of concerned. Not a lot of oil came out of that transmission. I don't know if y'all can see it. I'm trying to get a good shot out, but it's way down there on the other end. But I'm gonna check the seal on transmission. And And I'm gonna clean this up, and I might sand it down a little bit because I know it's gonna be hard to put the other one back in there. It should go back in there pretty good, but praise the Lord, I got that out that way. I was so, man, I dreaded that, y'all. I worked on this thing all day yesterday, and that was Saturday, and it's Sunday now. And so I got out here early this morning, and I just, common sense told me I'm not gonna get it out by banging it with a hammer. It won't come out with that. So it's just like, you know, pressing bearings out or pressing axles out. I had to figure out a way to put pressure on that thing and press it out. So I got the bright idea to use the tools I had with that claw and the bolt that came with, it came with this. So basically the bolt came with this Harbor Freight Maddox hammer slide, and the bolt was in there, and I bolted it to the claw right here. So, and I had to sacrifice this bolt because it's made to pull out axles on rear ends and whatnot. So I ground it down because it has a point on it, and if it's got a point on it, you know, it's definitely going to break that. It's going to break the aluminum. It's going to crack it. You can see right here, right there, and there's a little indentation. I will admit there's a little indentation right there, but guys, I'm telling you, I just saved this family friend a ton of money. I mean a ton of money by doing it that way. I did not want to replace that freaking bearing or carrier housing. I saw some guy, I mean, the first couple of YouTube videos I pulled up by straight up professionals, they were literally cutting the entire thing out. I mean, cutting it, bolting it out, replacing it, and charging the customer extra money. Guys, I'm telling you, I mean, the title of this video is going to be, do not do this at home yourself, because what I was doing was, A, you can break a lot of stuff, B, very dangerous, and C, just for the certifiable crazy, and that's what I am. So I got it out. We're gonna put the new one in and take this thing for a test drive and get it the heck off my lift. I'm tired of it being in here. I'll use a spot. Be back in a little while. All right, so I cleaned up this bearing housing really good. It looks a whole lot better. There's a bunch of rust in there, so I got rid of all the rust except in the very edge of the little lip there. So, but I don't think that's going to be a problem. So I'm actually going to take some of the damn CV grease that come out of the CV axle and stick in there too, and hopefully it'll, for the next time, it won't be that hard to get out. At least it'll keep it from rusting, I think. But I don't know if this car will ever have it replaced again, to be honest with you, but that's just me. So let's go ahead and do that, and let's get this thing back in there. Great. Just a little bit of my finger, just a little bit of CV axle grease. I don't know if this is I don't know if it's a good thing to do or a bad thing to do, but I'm doing it. So there you go. When you need a second hand and you don't have a second hand, or you need 4 hands and you only got 1 hand, here's how you can hold your tensioner pulley back with a ratchet on the tensioner, tie it back with a tight strap. There you go.